I had a visitation from this angel. And this angel that came and visited me, in my dream vision, I came into a power realm. A power realm I had not experienced at that level before. I saw real power beings. And they were going to war. And as I came and I showed up in that dimension, I could see war. Another apostle was there who's a friend of mine who works very strongly in the government. He turned around and he said to one of the beings who was chasing him, I just showed up. It looked like it was a movie. I just showed up, and one of the power beings was coming towards him. And he turned and he said to an angel that was standing on the side where I was, he said to him, stop him. And when he called him to stop, the angel stepped out and he put his hand up. And when he put his hand up, there was a power surge, and the spirit that was coming towards him, boom, he broke it off and set it back. And then there was another angel. He stood and he looked at me, and he turned around and he looked at me and he said, you're different. Like, how did you get here? Like, where did you come from? Are we in the days of suddenlies? God is getting ready to suddenly, supernaturally impose you. Oh, y'all not hearing me. You're getting ready to end up in stuff. You don't even know how you got. How did you get here? It's my time. I'm in my suddenly season. This is my Kairos time. How did you end? It's just my number came up. 55447, that's me. The earth is calling me. Creation is, y'all not hearing me? Creation is pulling my number. It is time for me to show up on the scene. God wants to transfer some things, equip me in some things, empower me in some things. And it's just, I just showed up. So he turned to me and he said, who are you? You're different. And I said back to him, as he was standing there talking to me, he turned to me and he said it. He said to me, you worship Satan. And I said to him, you a lie. I do not worship Satan. Stay with me. And he said to me, let me hear your worship. As he said to me, let me hear your worship, I began to open my mouth and sing. When I opened my mouth and I began to sing, what began to fill the atmosphere is I worship you, Almighty God. There is none like you. I worship you, O Prince of Peace. That is all I long to do. And as I began to sing, he took out a case. He had this case, and when I looked at him, he looked like he was dark, but he had lights in him. Like the fallen one. Come on, y'all, hear me. He had lights in him, and I knew he was sent in the earth to measure our sounds of worship. He took out a case, and in the case, it was dark, but every color, every sound that he was turning knobs to, it represented colors. And I saw yellows and orange. You don't even understand. All this stuff is connected. He's measuring sound. And so he began to turn knobs, and turn knobs. Then all of a sudden, he turned back to me and he said, what is this matter with set apart and separation? As he was trying to measure my sound, he heard in my sound that this one is set apart and this one is separated. So you probably can't pick her up on what you're trying to measure, because Satan believes, listen to this, what God told me. Satan believes that anybody that sits in an atmosphere or sit in the earth to release a sound of worship, if they have in them unforgiveness, if they have in them, let me tell you, if you have in you doubt, if you have in you fear, there is a sound that registers back out into the outer atmospheres where other beings pick you up and you give them legal right to sit in the worship with you. So he said, those that worship me must worship me in a separated, set apart, come on, because that's truth. Thy word is true. It's separated from every other word. Hindus have a, come on, we got every type of the Muslim, everybody, Hare Christians, we got a lot of gods out here. But he says, thy word is truth. Thy word sets apart. My sound, my worship comes out of truth, which is my word, which is fellowship I have with my people, that sets them apart. That when they open up their mouth to speak, every angelic being recognizes God is speaking. The worship goes to glory. And that's why tonight I need you to understand why you got to get truth all the way in you. Because wherever there is no truth, there are lies. Wherever there's lies, the devil, who is the author of lies, is hanging out in your life, deceiving you, wanting you to believe that your prayers are going up. And sometimes we are feeling that we are not ascending where we should be because we don't have enough of heaven's backing. We don't have enough of the force of angels that is coming to usher our prayers where they need to go, because they're laden down with worry. They're laden down with fear. He says, when you come to me to pray, you got to pray believing. You got to pray knowing. You got to pray being absolutely convinced. There can't be no lying in your prayer, no manipulation in your prayer, no cunning in your prayer. You got to show up in the prayer place with God saying, I know you're the great I am. I know you're Elohim. I know you're the mighty God. I know you're the only one that can bring me through this. You got to show up giving God glory with no type of strings attached, with no other voice print on it, that you are not where you're not sure. But when you go through things in life and it don't happen exactly the way you want it, the spirit of doubt shows up. And you'll find yourself, I love God, but doubt is present. You'll find yourself, doubt is sin. Doubt is sin. He says, first of all, I have relationship with those that are of me. For my children know my voice, and that of a stranger they will not follow. Sometimes we're deceived into believing that what we are doing and how we are expressing is coming back to the honor of God. And God say, my name ain't in that. I'm gonna mess you up. I'm going right there. You can sing as loud as you want. You can scream to the top of your lungs, and yet you still ain't talking to Jesus. He says spirit and truth. That means not flesh and not lies. That means your flesh can't be a part of your worship. That means everything in you got to cry out, Abba, Father. That means everything that you are seeing and what you want to experience is going to bring present truth, present God. Come on. Is going to bring heaven into your now. Anybody need things to be overturned in the circumstances of what they live in right now? And we're going to church and we're writing vision boards and we're confessing all kind of words, but what we are not doing is getting the stuff out of our soul that is keeping us bound to where God is trying to send you. He wants to bring you to another reality. He wants to let you know that the circle you stand and what you're standing in is only the circumstances that you're in. When you shift from where you're standing, all of your circumstances change. And it's called a renewed mind. Say renewed mind.